Welcome to Flashback, a recap of some of the stories that made the headlines during the week. On Monday, we reported that troops of 13th Brigade Nigerian Army successfully rescued 18 passengers, including 2 infants, following a hijacking incident on a passenger boat traveling from Nigeria to Cameroon. A distress call alerted authorities that suspected sea pirates operating in 2 speedboats and a wooden boat hijacked a passenger boat moving from Nigeria to Cameroon. 13th Brigade troops deployed at Ikang pursued the criminals, resulting in an exchange of fire that caused one of the pirates' speedboats to capsize. The pirates abandoned their victims and fled into the surrounding creeks. All passengers were rescued unharmed. And that same day, senior military officers, security experts, and key government officials gathered at the National Defense College in Abuja. This strategic meeting was targeted at countering the financing of terrorism and strengthening regional security in the country. We have more.
At a time when security threats are becoming more complex, the National Defense College is conveying top decision makers from the military, intelligence community, financial institutions, and government agencies. The focus is on a less visible but critical front in the fight against terrorism, how extremist groups fund their operations. The strategic level countering the financing of terrorism and regional security cause is designed to deepen understanding of how terror networks rise, move, and use funds, and how those channels can be disrupted. The 5-day program is aimed to strengthen collaborations among institutions responsible for tracking and cutting off these financial flows.
Terrorist groups embed both formal and informal communities and other criminal activities to sustain their operations. Thus, countering the financing of terrorism is not just a financial or legal obligation, but also a vital component of our broader national and regional security strategy.
Participants are expected to engage in high-level discussions on leadership, decision-making, and enforcement mechanisms, while aligning Nigeria's efforts with international best practices in counter-terrorism financing. Beyond policy and strategy, organizers say the course places strong emphasis on cooperation, not just in Nigeria, but across the wider region.
It's all about money. There's no way the terrorists, insurgents, even bandits can operate if he hasn't gotten the money. If it is kidnappers, they kidnap you, they need to feed you. Even if it is minimal, even if it is water they are going, it's logistics. Now, but when you come to Africa particularly, we know that terrorists, insurgents, they need a lot of logistics. And this logistics are not part and the kernel point, the compact core.
As terrorist groups continue to adapt, authorities insist that responses must also evolve, moving beyond battlefield to the financial networks that make violence possible. With this course, the National Defense College hopes to strengthen both national and regional capacity to confront terrorism at its roots.
And on Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu addressed the high-level climate action and sustainability development summit in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. At the meeting, President Bola Tinubu highlighted that increased access to green funding is critical to Africa's development, as well as meeting climate goals without leaving any nation behind. He pushed for new partnerships to support the country's energy transition, infrastructure development, and climate-resilient projects. President Bola Tinubu also emphasized Nigeria's readiness to work with global partners in areas such as global energy, carbon market, technology transfer, knowledge exchange, and innovation.
Ambition to impact. We are modernizing Nigeria's energy architecture. The Electricity Act of year 2023 now provides for decentralized, inclusive energy delivery. In practical terms, this means sustainable power to rural communities, off-grid health facilities, educational institutions, markets, and the underserved communities.
We believe sustainable shared prosperity is possible, but it requires cooperation, it requires global partnership so that we can retool energy systems, we can encourage and generate more funds to support climate financing.
Today is a great day for Nigeria. It's a great day for the UAE. Nigerian exporters will have over 7,000 product lines from agricultural products to pharmaceuticals that will enter the UAE market duty-free. So that's a big one for our non-oil exports under the Renewed Hope agenda. Also, Nigeria will be diversifying and accelerating exports in various sectors. Also, Nigeria will be welcoming investors from the UAE in critical sectors such as infrastructure.
And that same day, we reported that the United States government delivered critical military supplies to Nigeria in support of the country's ongoing security operations. According to the United States Africa Command, in a statement posted on X, the supplies were handed over to Nigerian authorities in Abuja. U.S. AFRICOM said the delivery showed the United States' continued commitment to strengthening its security partnership with Nigeria. And on Wednesday, the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities signed a landmark agreement aimed at ending years of industrial disputes. The agreement drawn up to restore stability to Nigeria's public universities was formalized in Abuja.
We're making promise to you today. This agreement will be effective from January 1st, and was effective from January 1st, 2026. The key components include the emolument of university academic staff, which has been reviewed upward by 40% to enhance the morale, improve the quality of service delivery, and the global competitiveness of Nigeria tertiary education institution, and also to reverse brain drain. With regards to the end academic allowances, these allowances, 9 in numbers, are now clearly structured, transparently earned, and strictly tied to duties performed, thereby promoting productivity, accountability, and fairness.
The 2025 renegotiated agreement is the outcome of a prolonged renegotiation that was initiated, like Senator Terrorism said, in 2017 to review the 2009 agreement, and which was to revitalize the Nigerian university system. Our union also wants to specially appreciate the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Maruf Alausa, for his steadfast support and encouragement to get us to this point. We often disagreed with the minister, but he's an open-minded person.
Other ministries, departments, and agencies to emulate this approach by painstakingly engaging their workers, their employers, understanding their legitimate concerns, and resolving disputes amicably rather than allowing them to fester and complicate the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment's coalition efforts.
And that same Wednesday, the River State Council of Traditional Rulers set up a 9-man committee to mediate in the political crisis in the state. The committee, led by Swanu Baridam as chairman and Wanchuku Namobi as co-chairman, were tasked with meeting with stakeholders to chart a way forward and bring about lasting peace. In a statement by its chairman, Chike Woluwodo, the Council of Traditional Rulers appealed to all factions and the public to tone down the rhetorics in order to de-escalate the tense situation. Flashback to Thursday, January 15, Nigeria paused in honor and remembrance of men and women who wore the nation's uniform and pay the ultimate price to keep the country united. The Armed Forces Remembrance Day commemoration was marked across the country with solemn ceremonies with top government officials, military leaders and veterans in attendance.
In the early hours of the morning, long before the ceremony began, memories were already present. Memories of sacrifice, memories of courage, and memories of lives cut short in defense of Nigeria. In the National Arcade in Abuja, the nation gathered once again to mark the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, a yearly reminder that peace and unity comes at a cost. The most symbolic moment of the ceremony was the laying of floral tributes, followed by gun salutes, each echo standing for a fallen hero whose services will never be forgotten. For lawmakers, the day goes beyond protocol. It was about gratitude.
My words to the men in service is to tell them that we are proud of them. They are the pride of this nation, and this is acknowledged all around the world.
The federal government says remembrance must also translate into action, especially caring for those left behind.
We have realized that we're only remembering all those who are passed on and forgetting those that are living. And that's what we made it that is critical. We celebrate those that are alive so that they know that their sweat is not forgotten.
The ceremony also drew participation from the Federal Capital Territory Administration, highlighting the national nature of the occasion.
We wish the armed forces a happy celebration today, and we wish the best for our nation in terms of security, peace and harmony.
For members of the Nigerian Legion, the memories are personal.
Giving the veteran assurance, better day ahead.
Armed Forces Remembrance Day serves as a reminder that the strength of a nation is built on the sacrifices of its heroes and that Nigeria must never forget them. Abigail Zamani, TVC News, Abuja.
And the son of Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Thursday formally defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress, pledging to work for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu in 2027. The younger Atiku Abubakar Atiku was received at the National Assembly by the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barrow Jibrin, alongside key APC leaders from the Northeast geopolitical zone. At the event, Atiku Abubakar announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party and declared his full alignment with the APC, describing the moment as both historic and personal. He also directed all coordinators and members of the political organization he founded in 2022, formerly known as the SK Atiku organization, to immediately align with the APC and support President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. And responding to this development, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said his son's decision to join the APC is entirely personal. In a tweet on his personal handle, he said, in quote, "In a democracy, such choices are neither unusual nor alarming, even when family and politics intersect. As a Democrat, I do not coerce my own children in matters of conscience, and I certainly will not coerce Nigerians." He added that, "I remain resolute in working with like-minded patriots to restore good governance and offer Nigerians a credible alternative that brings relief, hope, and progress." End of quote. On Friday, a Rivers State High Court sitting in Oyibo local government area issues an interim injunction that temporarily halted further action on the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odu. The court restrained the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amawile, alongside 32 other defendants, including the Clerk of the House and the Chief Judge of Rivers State, from taking further steps. The order also barred the Chief Judge, Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi, from receiving, forwarding, considering, or acting on any request, resolution, or impeachment related to document from the Assembly. But the Rivers State House of Assembly has insisted it will continue with the impeachment process. The lawmakers that same Friday wrote to the State Chief Judge to constitute a 7-member panel to investigate allegations against the governor, Simelai Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Odu.
The events of the past few days had fueled speculation that the legislature might abandon the planned impeachment. However, that was not the case as the House moved to reconvene.
The only solution now is to apply the solution prescribed by the 1999 Constitution as altered, which is the impeachment of the incorrigible governor and the deputy governor.
In a surprise move, 4 lawmakers who had earlier called for the withdrawal of the impeachment notice formally withdrew their appeal.
I, Honorable Silvanus Wankwo, and my fellow colleague here, Honorable Peter Abe, is saying that the impeachment proceedings should continue.
They are insisting that others will come and we will not perform the oversight function like other state legislation in the federation. This is very bad for our democracy. On this note, we are proceeding with the impeachment process.
The lawmakers later went into plenary and without delay voted to proceed with the impeachment in compliance with Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution.
Allegations of gross misconduct leveled against His Excellency Sir Simelai Fubara, Governor of Rivers State, should proceed to the next level, which is investigation, and by virtue of Section 188, subsection 5, I will ensure that the resolution of this House is immediately communicated to the Chief Judge of Rivers State.
The House has written to the Chief Judge to convey its resolution as the state watches anxiously for the next twist in the political crisis.